Hey guys, thank you so much for being here today. So this is my first video post-op. Kind of. The last video I did was about my liposuction experience. That's up now. God knows if I'm going to keep that up. I think I will because it got more positive feedback than I thought it would. So I'll probably keep that video up. But anyway, I'm going to be doing my first ever reaction video. I'm excited, but I'm nervous because I know that I'm going to have to edit this and yeah. Cosmopolitain, and I subscribe to this magazine. I read it whenever I can. I like magazines, guys. I don't really like to just scroll through the internet like aimlessly because I have ADHD and I like lose track of time, and then it's like 5 o'clock and then I basically wasted the whole work day on like doing nothing. So I like magazines. They help me like focus better, I guess you can say. So yeah, I figured this would be fun, and since this is literally my most requested reading, a relationship reading, soulmate reading, toxic relationship, how to move on, how to cut cords, I figured let's just hear what these people have to say. So this person went to an exorcist to cut cords with her ex and to fully like disentangle their relationship so she can move on and whatever, what she did, and basically. And also, I'm going to tell you guys how I've done this because I did not go to an exorcist. I went to a Reiki master. I've done this with 3 different Reiki masters. And I was kind of confused reading the story because when I heard the word exorcist, it may be because I'm Christian and I grew up Catholic, and maybe that's why I automatically assumed that this person was going to be a priest because, I don't know, in my mind, exorcists are priests. It doesn't seem like from the story that she went to a priest, though. Let's read it. Oh, wait, this is like a 2-page thing. No, it's a 1-page thing. Okay, people do throw up sometimes, but only if they have extreme trauma. Says Rachel Stabbies, whose life work is to help her clients, currently me, meaning the person writing this, cleanse their bodies of spirits and bad energy. It's 2 p.m. on a Wednesday in June, and we're sitting in Stabby's chapel chic spirit room, surrounded by glass jars stuffed with herbs that are pungent enough to seep through my face mask. Stabby herself looks exactly how I'd expect her to. Heavy makeup, black hair with sharply cut bangs, and symbolic tattoos down her forearms. Basically kind of witchy awesome. I found my way to Stabby's via a friend who I'd seen right after she had her own session earlier this year when she'd attempted to talk to her decreased mom. Okay, so this person, Stabby's, is a medium. I'm going to assume this person's a medium. I wasn't exactly buying it, but when her phone weirdly glitched and froze as she was snapping a pic of our charcuterie board. I think this is like a board for cheeses, but I could be wrong. She said, Rachel told me this would happen. It was a bit freaky about the more I thought about it, the more I convinced myself that Stabbies might be able to help me banish someone I couldn't shake, aka the gaslighting man-child I dated for 2 years who kept appearing in my dreams. This has happened to me with my actual soulmate this has happened for years with my actual soulmate. So I feel like the whole dream thing, it's a telltale sign that you have a cord with somebody. So if you repeatedly keep getting dreams of the same person and you remember them, I feel like when you remember them, that's also like a telltale sign that somebody's connecting with you via 5D, 4D, or lower dimensions. But I feel like this is more like a 5D, 4D thing. So that means that there's a cord connected to you. Okay, where was I? Even when I slept right next to my current boyfriend. Okay, so she has another boyfriend. That's not the guy that she's talking about. Go ahead, say it. You really think that you need an exorcist just for having dreams about an ex? Yeah, you do need to get some type of help when you're having reoccurring dreams with the same person and you're not with that person, even if it's years later. I do recommend you getting some type of help to cut these cords off, just so you're not constantly in 5D with this person, even especially if you're dating somebody else. Okay, so, and now I'll say it 1,000 times yes, I've moved cross country with this boy who turned out to be the definition of toxic. Like, he would purposely, routinely criticize me and my career to make himself feel better. I know where she's coming from. Where was I? When I got my first book deal, he called me dumb. Oh, and a few times he came to my comedy shows. He'd make it seem like I tanked, even if the audience told me otherwise. His lingering spirit was so traumatizing. Yeah, this is a guy that's latched onto her. I can obviously see that. His lingering spirit was so traumatizing that I was gone to try anything. I was game to try anything. Wow, my eyes are going bad. Especially since my past with him was screwing with the future of my current relationship because, I now have deep-seated trust and commitment issues. And especially since my new guy and I are starting to talk about the big stuff, engagement, marriage, kids. I wanted to be rid of this baggage for good, and saging our apartment over and over just wasn't cutting it. Okay, guys, before we go any further, I have done a video on Sage. I just realized yesterday that I made this video private because I'm not sure if I was getting backlash. I'm not sure if I said something bad in it. I probably said something like that I wasn't supposed to expose to anybody in it, and that's why I just never uploaded it, or I just put it on private. But guys, I really don't recommend you guys saging your house. If you guys really want to get rid of spirits and you guys want to cleanse the house, I really recommend working with a candle or working with a spray. So the spray that I'm using now, I don't sage. I don't even Palo Santo anymore because people in my house don't like smoke. I live in an apartment. You know what I mean. So now is, if you saw my haul video, this is what I use. Every single day I spray this whole house with it. You know, I know some people will have harder times getting spirits out of their house than others. But I do recommend this spray. I feel like it's pretty potent. It's made with some ancient ingredients, which is something I look for with companies. If I know that they're using quality ingredients, if I feel intuitively drawn to them. I'll be quite honest with you guys. As soon as I saw this company like a year ago, I wasn't going to use any of their stuff because I knew how powerful they were and I didn't want to mess with anything. But yeah, I do recommend this instead of sage. I'm just putting that out there. Now, where was I? Oh my god, where was I? Okay, so here I am on 𝒸𝒽's massage table, wrapped in purple sheets in the middle of the day. 𝒸𝒽's takes a cross-legged seat. What is a cross-legged seat? In the corner of her room and turns her head as the spirits speak to her. They're saying that asshole wasn't for you and you felt unworthy since you broke up with him. You are worthy. Okay, chills. She instructs me to close my eyes. When I do, she starts circling my body, asking the gods and goddesses to open up my third eye. I already don't like this person because I don't feel like you should ask for gods and goddesses to help you when you don't know this person's religion. I mean, according to the story, this woman has not explained her religious background, you know, has really explained much about her and herself. So it's not always a good thing to just start asking gods and goddesses to surround her, especially if she's calling upon gods and goddesses that work with her in particular, because you really don't know who is in alignment with one person and who really does not like the one person, because there are certain gods and goddesses that will not really want to help certain people. If the person is Catholic, if this person is a prophet especially, and you ask gods and goddesses to help them, that person can get attacked really easily. So I don't think this person is really like, I don't know. I just, as a psychic medium, I would not do that. To be honest, I'd really ask this person beforehand, what's your religion? Like, tell me more about yourself before I just start opening the door to a bunch of shit, basically. Just my personal opinion. But where was I? Okay, gods and goddesses, to open up my third eye. You know, the invisible one that looks deeper within you. My mind wanders to memories of my ex from 2 summers ago. They do this shit in Peru. Okay, besides the point. As 𝒸𝒽𝒶𝓇 walks around me, speaking aloud to whoever it is she can hear or see, I try my best to focus, but TBH, I get distracted by a fly that keeps buzzing around me. Eventually, I somehow drift off into the meditative resting state, and 𝒸𝒽𝒶 pushes her gloved hands down the center of my body while exhaling into her face mask. That's what feels like only a few minutes, although it's actually been more than a half hour. 𝒸𝒽𝒶 ends the exorcism with a lot of noise. She's like hitting gongs, shaking rain sticks, in which I guess is how you get evil spirits to piece the F off. The woman who works on me does stuff like this, but not the bongs, but she'll just start yawning like a lot. I've never worked with anybody that hits gongs. Bells, yes, but not, I don't even know what a gong is, so. She then places a smoky white crystal ball into the palm of my hand, and I immediately truly feel energized, like I just woke up from a productive power nap. Oh, and before I leave, 𝒸𝒽𝒶 suggests I Google the meaning of flies. She'd also noticed that the one hovering around me. Okay, guys, I'm gonna expose something really quickly. And I've only told like a few people about this. When I was trying to cut cords with one of my exes, the one that literally to this day will not leave me alone. Like, I mean, we don't talk, but like energetically won't leave me alone. I noticed that there was a moth that was, flying around the ritual, whatever. And the woman that I was working with, but at this time I was doing it by myself. I wasn't working with anybody. Like, I could just take these cords off myself. At this point, when I first started, no, absolutely no, I could not. But one of the Reiki masters that kind of taught me how to do this, she told me, like, look up the significance of moths. But the way that the moth was placed, and, from what I read, the moth was trying to cross off, like, was trying to basically, how do I say cross in a way that people can understand? They were trying to cross the ritual, basically, meaning that they were trying to reverse it onto me. I was trying to get my energy back, and I guess the moth, it was probably the person's spirit guide or whatever, was trying to keep him latched onto me. That was the significance of the moth. I stopped at that point, luckily, because, well, it was actually interesting because the moth was trying to do that, but in the way that the moth died and landed, it meant that my ancestors basically kicked his ancestors' asses, and he thought he was going to cross my ritual, and, like, it didn't work, basically. And I knew it wasn't going to, because this person was a mess. They were definitely not strong enough to, like, override a ritual that I was trying to get rid of him with. Anyway, look, that's a long story, but where was I? Okay, and before I leave, 𝒸𝒽𝒶 suggests I Google the meaning of flies. She'd also noticed one hovering around me. Flies are also kind of a negative sign. I feel like flies are very parasitic. We'll continue. As I drive home, my adrenaline dies down, and I feel a little drunk out of it. Unsure if this thing had actually worked, when I tell my boyfriend about the experience, I could tell he's looking at me like I've reached a new level of LA. I guess they're from LA. See, it's not just you. That night, I have my last and final dream about my ex, and I am at a shopping mall where I can see him there and his family and friends. I keep trying to hide from him, and I just think when I think I have, I turn around and we're face to face. I blatantly tell him to leave me alone. Then I wake up, and that was it. Yeah, this guy was trying to cross this ritual, this exorcism, basically. I feel confident, and I'll never dream about him again. So far, so good. There's other stuff too. I've never felt more in touch with the universe or my relationship. Every morning I wake up and I think about something I'm grateful for, as recommended by 𝒸𝒽𝒶. Some days it's my and my boyfriend's health. Other days it's several like. This is like a type of wine, I think. But it seems I can honestly thank an exorcism for helping me actively engage in conversations about engagement versus screaming internally. Oh, and I looked up the fly thing. Apparently flies can send a message that being present, because I don't believe that. So yes, some spirits do, like some spirit animals do have significances, but when you're performing a ritual and you find something that's very parasitic, like a fly, moth, or any of these ugly bugs, it mostly means that somebody is trying to overpower your ritual and trying to cross it. So I'm just going to leave that there. Being persistent, consistent, and determined even in the face of tragedy will result in victory, per a Google search that landed me on a Psychic Medium's article. And since I went all the way to an exorcist and back, and am happier and more excited for love than I've ever been, I'd say I'm pretty effing victorious. So that's really good. This was an interesting article. Let me see if there's any more. No, this is it. I feel like this person, I've never heard of an exorcist that wasn't like Catholic or like Christian. If you guys have, please comment below. But yeah, this is definitely how I would do some, like, if this is how a ritual would be performed on me. I guess some ways similar to what happened to this woman. So I have done rituals similar to this with other practitioners. And this is how it goes down most of the time. Not really with gongs or anything like that. But you do end up feeling a lot lighter after something like this has been done. And see, this woman came back and said her adrenaline was rushing. She feels a lot younger, lighter. These are the benefits from getting a cord cutting. This is, I wouldn't call this woman an exorcist. I'd call this person like a psychic practitioner, spiritual advisor. I don't know. The titles get mixed up a little bit. But you could achieve this with just a regular Reiki practitioner if they know what they're doing. And yeah, guys, that's it. I hope this was informative to everyone, because a lot of people always ask me about how to cut cords, how to release toxic exes, blah, blah, blah. So if you guys have any other questions, or you want to book a consultation or like book an appointment with me, I can tell you guys how to go about something like this on your own. And if you want somebody that's particularly could work with you, I do have people that I recommend for that are inexpensive and very affordable. And yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed. Thank you guys so much for being here today, and I'll talk to you soon.